Am I the asshole for calling my brother-in-law out for his weaponized incompetence and calling him pathetic at dinner?
I, female 24, have a sister, female 32, who has a husband, male 38, who is the poster child of weaponized incompetence. They have 4 kids, female 10, male 8, male 5, female 3, and she's pregnant. My sister works a full-time job, 40+ hours a week, cleans her entire house, cooks, takes care of all her children without him doing anything. It is seriously mind-blowing that she wakes up at like 4 a.m., cooks breakfast, does chores, gets all of her kids ready for school, takes them all to school and daycare, and all he does is stay home and work, and when his kids get home, after my sister picks them up, of course, he will play with them for a little and play video games until he falls asleep. She actually makes more than him. My fiancé, male 26, and I had to stay with them for 6 weeks while our home was being renovated, and since we both work from home, we helped her, and it is amazing how much happier she is when she has helped. I helped with the kids and my fiancé even drove her to doctor appointments. Her husband literally only acknowledges he is a parent when his family is around, then he is a God-fearing, hard-working father of 5. He is the one that wanted more kids. She wanted to stop after her last baby, but he needed more boys. I am seriously concerned not only for her, but her kids as well, because now her oldest is seeing what's happening and trying to help, but my sister is prideful and refuses to let her child do anything. I and this man have never gotten along. He's been acting like this since their 8-year-old was born. I've tried talking to her about leaving, but she doesn't want her kids to grow up in a broken home, and unfortunately, her experience with our parents' divorce was completely different from mine, so she doesn't understand that a divorce would benefit her kids here because she thinks they need their mom and dad together. Cut to this past weekend, she and her husband threw a pre-Thanksgiving potluck where our entire family and his was there. I stayed with my sister a few days before because I knew he wouldn't help. So we're at dinner all talking, and I mention we are trying for a baby, and my BIL makes an offhanded comment to him about how hard fatherhood is, and I snapped and said like you would know. He looked taken aback and asked me what I meant, and I unloaded on him, calling him a pathetic excuse for a man who makes my 8 months pregnant sister do everything for their family. I went off for a solid 10 minutes, and he sat there shrinking in his seat. I left. Last night my sister called me and thanked me for standing up for her and told me she appreciated me. Although today I got a very nasty text from him telling me I'm a terrible person, and because I lied in front of his family his mom is angry at him and is moving in with them to help her out, and I've made him the laughing stock of his family. He certainly thinks so, but am I the asshole for doing this?
Am I the asshole for clinging to my husband at a party and not letting someone speak to him privately?
We were invited to a party on Saturday, but I really didn't want to go. I'm pregnant and I feel tired and emotional all of the time, and the last thing I wanted to do was spend time at this party. Usually, in these types of parties, there's a signal which tells the majority of us to disappear while a select few discuss business. I hate it because when my husband is around everyone is perfectly nice, but the second I'm alone some people can be extremely catty. I told my husband I didn't want to go, but he told me it was important for him to go and he promised not to leave my side the entire time. So, we went, and then the signal came and everyone not wanted was getting up to leave, but my husband kept his arm around my waist so I couldn't exactly leave, and it was awkward as hell because it was obvious they wanted to talk privately and my husband was acting like it was no big deal and ignoring the awkwardness. It happened a few times during the night, but he kept his promise and stayed near me the entire time. This one man, Frank, was getting visibly frustrated that I wasn't disappearing, and he kept indirectly trying to tell my husband he wanted to speak to him privately, but my husband was acting like he didn't get the hint. Then at one point, I needed to use the restroom, so I excused myself and Frank's wife followed me there and told me off for clinging to my husband and not giving him and Frank some time to talk privately. She asked me if I would just give them 30 minutes because Frank had something important he needed to discuss with my husband. I'm friends with his wife, so I felt bad, but I said no and went straight back to my husband. Frank and his wife were giving me dirty looks for the rest of the evening, and the next morning my sister-in-law told me Frank's wife was complaining about me to people for how I behaved. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for making my cousin angry at her husband for not getting her pregnancy cravings for her?
I've had a lot of weird and oddly specific pregnancy cravings. So far, my husband has gotten me every single one without fail. A few days ago, my cousin, who is also pregnant, and her husband were visiting. While they were here, I got this random craving for these brownies I had from a bakery in France. I mentioned it to my cousin and her husband because I wanted to know if she was also having these oddly specific cravings. She told me she did, but it was torture because her husband almost never got them for her. I said that wasn't nice of him and I would be upset if my husband acted like that. Her husband got defensive and said he actually got her the food she was craving a lot and that there was a limit to how many times he should be expected to run around after the food she was craving. He kept telling me my husband wouldn't get me my French brownies. We live in Europe but not France. Even though I knew he would because I've had even more ridiculous cravings before and he found a way to get them for me. I told him I would ask my husband since he never believed me to prove a point and he was so confident that my husband would say no, which he obviously didn't. The brownies came after several hours and the longer it was taking the more arrogant her husband got, so I was very happy when they arrived. My cousin was visibly pissed at her husband for the rest of their visit. My cousin's husband asked my husband if he had got them just to prove my point, but my husband said he got them because I said I was craving them and that French brownies were much easier to get than some of the other cravings I've had. Cousin's husband asked about what other cravings I've had and was pissed when he realized I knew I would get the brownies if I asked. Before they left, he called me out on setting him up to look bad and claims his wife is mad at him because of me. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for not attending my sister-in-law's baby shower because my family didn't want to make one for me? I'm pregnant too.
I edit to explain. I'm expecting a boy. I have a girl, and that's why I thought they would help me plan the baby shower, also my husband, and I paid for the first one. I don't want them to pay for it for me, I just wanted him to help me plan it as they do with all the women in the family even when they don't pay for the baby shower, and at my first baby shower I didn't ask for gifts. I just wanted to celebrate my baby and that's exactly what I want to do now. In my F24 family there is a new tradition and it is to plan a baby shower for the pregnant women in the family. And this time it was my sister-in-law's F37 turn. And they spent a lot of money on decorations, food, and gifts like she was a queen. Which I don't care about at all, but it hurts because when I was helping to decorate some things I said something like that to my baby shower. I wanted the same flowers because I liked them. And my sister, F36, told me that I already had a baby shower this year, that should be enough, that there won't be another baby shower for me until I know what birth control is. She said that because I got pregnant again when my daughter was only 1 month old, she's 6 months old now and I'm in my 5th month, and it was not planned as my first pregnancy, but my husband, M27, and I love this baby the same way. And that hurt because ever since I got pregnant, the second time, they tell me all the time how dumb I am or how much I will regret this in the future, and whenever they say those things I just ignore them or I just laugh, and I did the same this time. I just laughed and pretended that I didn't care at all. I did that because I honestly thought they were just kidding and they weren't serious, but the other day my husband asked me, in front of my family, if he should tell his mom to come for the baby shower. She lives like 14 hours away but she adores our babies and loves to help with everything that has to do with them. For my daughter's baby shower she helped a lot, so he wanted to know the date so he could tell his mom, but my mom said that this time it was my sister-in-law's turn and that I was not going to die for not having a baby shower. And that day I couldn't help it and I cried because I thought I was as important as her to them, and they apologized and said they would try to plan another one for me, but I told them I was fine and again I pretended I didn't care. And if that had been all I would have attended, but later my brother, M40, called me and accused me of being envious and told me that I just wanted attention and that's why I got pregnant again, to overshadow his wife. And called me a whore who doesn't know how to close her legs, and said that I was the worst mistake my parents could make and that because of me they got divorced and a few more things that broke my heart. I couldn't stop crying and my husband who was with me hung up the phone for me and told me not to go, that it was enough and that I should cut him off. So for the first time, I did what he said and that didn't work because now I'm the villain. They said that my sister-in-law spent years trying to conceive and now that she finally got pregnant I was ruining everything, that she cried and that she didn't know why I didn't go. We have a really good relationship but I didn't tell her anything because I didn't want to create problems between her and my brother, so I wanted to know, am I the asshole for not going?
Am I the asshole for not getting my pregnant wife her food cravings at 3 a.m.?
Hey everyone, I'm male 30, my wife is female 29. Yesterday night my wife at 3 a.m. woke me up and said,
Babe, I want something to eat.
I wake up and say, okay, what do you want to eat? She says,
I want some ice cream.
I said, okay, I'll get you some from downstairs. Which one do you want? We have the vanilla or the chocolate one. She said,
I don't want none of those. I want this Breyers Reese ice cream. I want that one, get me that.
I said, but babe, we don't have any of those. She then says,
well, get me some please. I'm your wife, come on. You know I got a baby in my stomach, you're feeding 2 people.
Keep in mind, we live in a rural area with a small population. Convenience stores and grocery stores don't open till 6 a.m. where we live, none of them does. The only one that is open is the Circle K1, which is at least almost 2 hours from where we live, that's in the city nearby. We live in a rural area, so driving 2 hours just to get ice cream doesn't make sense. I thought about looking into ordering that ice cream on GoPuff or Uber Eats, and I checked on my phone that none of that is available in our zip code. So then I told my wife, well babe, I guess you got to wait, sorry. I can get you some when it turns 6, but there is still 3 hours left. I mean, we still have chocolate and vanilla ice cream at home, you can eat that, and when it turns 6 I'll drive over and get you that, it's not a problem. Then my wife just makes a grunting noise and says fine. Turns out my wife texted her dad about it, and he called me up and asked me why I didn't get his baby girl the food she wanted. I told him that we live in a rural area, and stores don't open till 6. We don't have any delivery options nearby and I can get it for her at 6 but not now. He told me I was being a bad father for not helping my pregnant wife. Am I the asshole? Edit. Also, I want to hear your thoughts, and what you do. Would you get your significant other their cravings in this situation? I'm genuinely curious to hear others' thoughts on what they would do in my place. Would they go or not? Edit 2. A lot of you are saying I should have mixed peanut butter in a blender with ice cream or given her ice cream with peanut butter. We don't have any peanut butter at home, so that wasn't an option really.